Now, I'm going to play a little devil's advocate here, right? Let's say that, all right, Kev, let's look at the essence of this game. Okay, this game has been hyped and was first unveiled back in 2012. It has been 8 years. It has been a long time coming for this game, right? And the main focal point of this game is its scope, its scale, and its graphic fidelity, and all of what it does from a technical standpoint, right? So, of course, the PC is going to be the best place to experience all of those at its highest quality. Like, the Cyberpunk version on PC is going to be the best looking game by far across any of the platforms, full stop, right? I could see why, you know, the devs would want the reviewers to experience the game at the highest quality. I get that, right? That totally makes sense, but I do feel that there could be a dilemma where the console versions are next to broken, right? Like that could definitely be a thing. So that was from a clip from a video last week that was uploaded onto the channel, and at that point it was just skeptical. It was just a guess and everything, and it was not like it was a pretty hard guess to make. I mean, we never got console reviews for Cyberpunk 2077 on PS4 and Xbox One, so you had to assume that something was up, but I never thought it'd be to this magnitude. So what is going on, guys? It is your boy TKD, what you do here, back in your place in the source, and we're gonna talk about Cyberpunk 2077 on PS4 and the whole fallout from that. So of course, like I talked about last week on the channel, which you can check out that video as well, I'll link it and I'll put, you know, a little card or whatever it's called up here on the screen on YouTube, right? So you can check out that video if you missed it. But long story short for that video, it's that what happened was CD Projekt Red never sent out console review copies to be reviewed for the game. And while not always true, not always how it, you know, seems to be, it's most likely the occurrence is that they don't want to show the console versions of this game, hence meaning that the console versions could be broken, like I said before in the intro of this video, right? So we had that, right? And then you couple that with when you look back at the way they have showed off good old Cyberpunk 2077, right? And it's always been on PC, right? And like that, honestly, I didn't think too deeply about, because holistically you are trying to sell us on the game, right? So you want to show the game at its highest visual quality no matter what, right? So that I don't even really slant them that much for it, right? But what I do kind of slant them for is that when they did finally show console footage of the game running on consoles, they only showed PS4 Pro and Xbox One X gameplay, and they failed to show PS4 and Xbox One gameplay, right? So that was a big thing there that I definitely took note on, but I wanted to see what would happen with this fallout. But it seems like that definitely, there was a reason, and now we see that reason. That is because the game has came out. A lot of you have probably played it, right? And definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What are you guys feeling about the game? If you have it on PS4, let me know your thoughts, right? But as we start to see over the course of this weekend, and now we have here on Monday this Cyberpunk tweet that we will read here shortly, the game on PS4 and Xbox One is in a pretty drastic state right now. Let me just say up front, okay? I do not have Cyberpunk 2077. Like I said before on the video from last week, I'm waiting until the PS5 version comes out next year to be able to experience it on PS5 at the highest quality, right? So I'm gonna wait for it, but a lot of you guys have been playing on PS4 and you are seeing bugs and glitches galore. There's a bunch of game crashes, there's weird screen tearing everywhere, there's just a whole lot of problems with the game. And I have gameplay up here of a little compilation video that I was watching last night going over a lot of the glitches and different problems with the game right now, and it is pretty expansive. It is pretty expensive, I'm not gonna lie. And you know, the Metacritic also kind of couples that with having a user score of 2.9, right? And there's not even any real critical reviews yet on Metacritic because like I said before, they were not given access to this copy of the game upon release and stuff like that. So they were only given PC codes, which the PC side is great. Like if you have a great graphics card and everything's all good on PC, apparently it's running flawlessly, allegedly, right? Like I think there's some glitches here and there, and that's to be expected, but overall the game runs a lot better on PC PC as opposed to the console versions, right? And so here is what I did do, right? So over the weekend, I saw a lot of this whole thing going down about the PS4 version not running good and everything, and I wanted to ask you guys on Twitter, okay, if you have the game, what platform do you have it on, and what are your experiences with it, okay? So we first had the homie Tapiwa Musa, much love to you. He says PS5, so he had it on PS5, random rendering, glitches like cars and buildings in distances, then one mission, Judy Alvarez, which I guess is a character in the game, Judy Alvarez was simultaneously standing and sitting in a chair, but no crashes or anything major yet before I jinxed myself. So he definitely had some issues here and there and everything, but overall he is running the PS5 backwards compatibility version of the game. So it is still the PS4 version. It runs a lot better with the new hardware and the better hardware at that. So overall he's having a pretty chill time, little bugs here and there, not too horrible. But then we move over to King Julian, the homie, and he says, I started the game a bit and then I was like, nope, I will not have the patience for it. So he just tipped out. He's gonna play it another time. We'll see whenever King Julian plays it. But then we have an even dire situation here with Liquid Swords. What the hell am I saying? Liquid Swords 14 on Twitter says, yep, fed up with it. The only other game I had problems with was the Black Ops campaign, giving up on Cyberpunk for now. Had 8 crashes in 10 hours playing on PS5. Pretty much done with it until it's fixed. Now his, I think, is one of the more drastic cases I've seen on PS5. I haven't seen people talk about the PS5 version in a super, negative way, but pretty interesting to see that he had 8 crashes in 10 hours. Then we had the homie, of course, Owen, what's good, homie? He says, it's actually a really good game too. Definitely recommend it once all the bugs and glitches are fixed. So he's definitely been on the side of like, hey guys, overall, yes, I have problems, yes, I have issues, but ultimately the game is still good. Like there is still a good game under the bugs and the glitches and the crashes and all that. It just takes ironing out those things. And me and Owen were actually talking about the game and like his experience overall with it on our Discord, link below in the description. Make sure to join that Play Dinosaurs Discord. But like he was saying, overall, mostly he does anticipate the game to be ironed out and fixed, and he will kind of return in a more serious manner to be able to complete the game. So he's very hopeful about it, and like honestly, overall, I am too. I think that these glitches and crashes will be fixed, and this will all be in the past. But let's go over what CD Projekt Red had to say now about Cyberpunk 2077, because this is a very interesting layer that they put out that I'm actually really surprised they published. So here we go. Dear gamers, first of all, we would like to start by apologizing to you for not showing the game on a base last-gen console before it premiered, and in consequence not allowing you to make a more informed decision about your purchase. We should have paid more attention to making it play better on PS4 and Xbox One. Now here's where I have a problem with that, right? Already, we're starting off the bat, okay? I think I'm just gonna read a little bit and then give my thoughts on it. So first off here, okay, they say that they apologize for not showing it on last-gen base hardware, those being, of course, PS4 and Xbox One. Then they also say that we should have paid more attention to making it play better on PS4 and Xbox One, right? But here's the big thing I have with that, is that the latest delay, while they didn't say it, it was heavily rumored from, I guess, insiders or whatever, and like maybe this is all just debunked, I don't know, but I remember this, was that there was issues with the PS4 and the Xbox One versions of the game that caused the delay, right? So y'all paid more attention to it anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the fact of the matter, is that y'all did pay attention to it, and you all were aware of the condition of the last gen base console versions of the game, and you were aware of it, which is number one, let's not dodge around that, number one, why you did not put out those copies to be reviewed. Of course, that's 100% the reason. I could see no other reason why. If you have another reason, let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think? Because I think personally it's very clear as day now that the reason why is because the game was not looking great on those base consoles, hence they did not want reviewers to reflect their review experience on those base consoles. But let's move on to the next point of the layer here. Second, we will fix bugs and crashes and improve the overall experience, which I mean, I would I would hope you're planning to do that, but the first round of updates has just been released and the next one is coming within the next 7 days. Expect more as we will update frequently whenever more new improvements are ready. After the holidays, we'll continue working. We'll release 2 large patches, starting with patch number 1 in January. This will be followed by patch number 2 in February. Together, these should fix the most prominent problems gamers are facing on last-gen consoles. We will be informing you about the contents of each patch ahead of their release. They won't make the game on last gen look like it's running on a high-end spec PC or next gen console, but it will be closer to that experience than it is now. So, wow. Okay, now look guys, look. I understand, right, that, you know, this game is a very dense and complex game, right? 100% full stop saying that. That is easy to tell without even playing the game, right? Number 1, okay? Number 2, isn't it kind of crazy how they have these 2 patches already planned out now? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I reading too much into this? Like, am I giving them too hard of a rap right now? Or is it that, man, the game should have probably been delayed until February? You know what I'm saying? Y'all, let's keep moving, because that was a very interesting thing that you know, I appreciate the honesty. I appreciate them laying out a timetable and everything, but that was a very interesting way to put it. But let's move on here to the last section of this whole thing. Finally, we would always like everyone who buys our games to be satisfied with their purchase. We would appreciate it if you would give us a chance. But if you are not pleased with the game on your console and don't want to wait for updates, you can opt to refund your copy. For copies purchased digitally, please use the refund system on PSN or Xbox respectively. For box versions, please first try to get a refund at the store where you bought the game. So should this not be possible, please contact us at helpmerefund@cdprojectred.com and we will do our best to help. Starting from today, you can contact us for a week until December 21st, 2020. So they're encouraging you to, you know, number 1, they would appreciate it if you would give us the chance, right? But then they are pushing you to get a refund on the copy if you're not satisfied, which, you know, makes sense. If you're not satisfied, definitely get a refund, of course. But, you know, they're saying, hey, first go to, you know, whoever and then come to us. Like, this whole thing is very interesting. All right, like, man. So look, as someone, again, like I said before, I don't have the game yet. I can't really complain about a game that I don't have, right? So like, you know, it is what it is, right? And like, take my opinion with a grain of salt if you want to do that, right? But I think my whole thing and my big issue with this entire thing is that not 2 weeks ago, right, there was an article that was put up and it was saying that you know, according to the CEO of CD Projekt Red, they said that Cyberpunk 2077, quote, runs surprisingly well on current gen consoles. And yes, I did double check the dates. He was referring to PS4 and Xbox One performance. He was saying, quote, surprisingly good, I would say, for such a huge world, is what he said straight up, right? So you couple that then with them not giving console versions for review, and then we have the product that PS4 users bought Cyberpunk on, and we see how the game runs on that platform. It is completely absurd, at least in my opinion. Like, I think, honestly, they knew exactly what they're doing here. It's not hard to see that they knew what they were doing here, and they ended up here with this, how the game is not good on PS4 and Xbox One. It is not running well. It's glitchy, it's buggy. I don't know how he was able to deduce that it was surprisingly good, right? It's not. It's really not. As far as I can tell, again, I'll say it again, I'll say it 1,000 times, I don't have the game yet. Alright, I don't have the game yet, but I do have a lot of friends that do have the game on PS4, and they're saying that it's not great across the board and everything. A lot of people have been saying that over the weekend, and I think that this creates a very difficult situation here where we have a dilemma that is them pretty much, you know, completely throwing any trust, any goodwill, out the window at this point, right? In the efforts to have this product rushed out to market, that way they could deceive the PS4 and Xbox One player base, and mainly I would feel like the PS4 version on this whole thing, in the efforts so that they could still buy Cyberpunk on their platform, because of course we all know the PS4 has 100 and like, was it 15 million over that, something like that, like over 100 million consoles out there in the wild. Okay, so it was the biggest pool from a console standpoint to have potential buyers from, right? And I think this is really bad. I think this is messed up. Obviously I feel like overall the PS4 version will get better. I feel like the game will get ironed out and be in a better state in a few weeks or months time, or however long it's going to take. But I think what my main issue is the deceitfulness that we clearly see here with CD Projekt Red going on with the PS4 version of the game. And to end off this whole video, okay, I've been seeing a lot of people also on the timeline tagging the developers, adding you know, who so and so whatever works at CD Projekt Red. That needs to stop, okay? It is nowhere, shape, or form the developers' fault for the game. They built the game, yes, but I'm sure that the developers knew internally and in their minds that, man, this game should not come out in this state on this platform, but that's not up to them. The developers don't get to choose when the games come out. It is the higher ups, it is the CEOs, it's the etc. So I am blaming I am blaming first and foremost the suits at CD Projekt Red, the big boys at CD Projekt Red, the ones that are more particular and more caring about the development studio making a profit and making their stockholders and investors happy, as opposed to the players and the install base and the buyers of Cyberpunk 2077. That's how I put it, guys. Do not blame the devs. It's not their fault. It is completely not their fault. I'm blaming higher ups in this whole standpoint. But with all that being said, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you have the game on PS4, on last gen, on Xbox One, let me know your experience, let me know your thoughts, let me know all the bugs that you have encountered down below in that comment section. I really want to see some more data as to how this game is really running on the PS4. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure also, while you are down there, you can check out our description where you can find links to our Discord, like I said before, our Twitter, and our Anchor link. That way you can listen to our long form content and podcast format. Those of course being Road to PS5 and Road to Miles Morales. Those two shows are over, but we do have more Road to series coming in the very near future. Look out for 2021. Like the video if you enjoyed it, as well as hit subscribe to PlayStation Source to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. Thank you all for watching, and as always, greatness awaits.